Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on the Today's Women Show. My name is Renee Q. Boateng, and today's show is extremely special. You really cannot miss it. We are going to be really educated on conditions that many of us are going through. We'll be right back. It's time for the monologues. This is when we hit the streets and we ask different women their opinions on different topics. Let's hear what they have to say today.
I wouldn't support my husband in paying my bride price, because I think paying my bride price is the value he adds as a wife. That's the value I have in his life as a wife. So if I help him to pay it, it's like me sharing in him buying my value. So I wouldn't support it. He should pay it single-handedly, because that's his duty.
Help your husband to pay for your bride price. I would say you could help him, but it could change the thing from not being a bride price. You could still help him though, but you might also let him, when he gets the money, he can pay you back. Well. Yeah, in a way to be better, because it's going to sound like weird. Like, I would not say like you go and tell somebody outside, but if like you can also help him, but I would think that you should help him, but he should pay you later. Yeah.
Now I'll help my husband to pay my bride price if the need arises. But if there's nothing like that, there shouldn't be. If there's no case like that, I think he should pay. But if there's a need for me to help, I would.
Depends on how close we are. I could probably, maybe not. Okay, in a traditional setting, the bride price is mostly meant for the man, so we leave it to the man. But I could help him with choosing the things, like, okay, you bring it to me, okay, I think this would be cool, because I know my family and all that, so okay, I think this would be cool for them, or this will not. But say for us, like, nah, I don't think.
No, there is no way I'm going to support my husband in paying my bride price. That custom doesn't demand it, so custom demands the man pays my bride price. He is marrying me into his home, so he has to show responsibility from the very beginning that he is very capable of taking care of me. So yes, he has to do that. I'm not going to support him in any way.
Oh yeah, why not? So far as this married thing together, I think it's good to support him.
Marriage is a union, understanding. So if I really, really love him and then we are meant to be together, I'll surely help him so that we gather everything, then get married.
She's an entrepreneur, she's hardworking, she's a go-getter, she's the woman on the move. Let's see who she is today.
The innovation of a mobile saloon is not new to countries including US, Spain, Greece, France, amongst others. While these countries have welcomed these innovations with much expertise, one person that is making things work out here in Ghana is 25-year-old Rebecca Appiah.
Maybe you are the busy type, you don't really have much time on your hands, always on the run, and maybe you need a service at your doorstep. I mean saloon services. And this has come an innovation that will speak to that desire of yours. And so let's go in there and talk to the owner of this very van, Backup Saloon on Wheels. Join me, let's get in.
With a business background, she's moved by her passion and instincts. Rebecca, who initially had a stationary saloon, challenged herself with this novelty after constant engagement with few friends abroad. What could have triggered her to call it a quit were few ill advisors proud to venturing into Backup Saloon on Wheels, but that didn't deter her.
I think Ghana is the best place to business. When you're hardworking, you're determined, Yeah, it works. It works in Ghana. Only that the critics are just too much, and a lot of people doubt everything. We don't get people to help us. We don't get people to encourage us. Discouragement is a lot. Because when I started this, when I wanted to do this, everybody said, "Oh, hey, this won't work. Why don't you get a shop, an additional shop?" Instead, I was like, "Oh no, you know, I'm not able to sit in the shop every day." So rather, when I have this car, I go everywhere with it. I drive it myself. I'm doing my rounds, and people get to see. Others book me when I am driving. So it does everything for me.
On a good day, how much sales do you make?
Because I can't really tell. But
Just give me an estimate. Give me an estimate.
oh, depending on what people come to do. You know, I sell hair.
Oh, okay.
I have hair on wheels as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So when I do both, people purchase the hair from me and they fix it for me. Yeah.
So you can give me an estimate, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Well, let's say a Peruvian hair, 24 inches goes for 400 cedis.
Wow.
And washing your hair is 20 cedis.
Okay.
Fixing the hair on your head is 70 cedis. If it's a cap, it's 100 cedis. Closure is 100 cedis. If it's a frontal, it takes just 120 cedis. So you can do your calculations.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So when I have them, and usually during the day or in a day, I get not less than 10 people.
Oh, that's fine.
Business, they say, thrives when families, friends and loved ones pay for services rendered them. But has Rebecca had any adverse encounter?
I don't joke with my business. When it's business time, it's business time. So I can, I can dash
So your best
you-
friend comes here, you charge her?
No. When I'm working, I don't do best friend. Not even my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, she pays for her service.
Your
When I
mom
go
pays?
Home, yeah, she pays. When I go home, she's like, "Hey, give me my money." I'm like, "Okay," but over there, she pays.
Wow, that's very nice.
Yeah, she pays.
The vehicle, which is powered by solar, has Wi-Fi, fridge, air condition to offer comfort to clients.
The usual Ghanaian setting is like, oh, let me get to the, saloon. I've just seen some few other ladies. That's why we just Kokonstan or Honor Cost.
Yeah.
But if you are just, putting me just in a van, Kokonstan, I say,
Oh, they shouldn't worry. We have telenovelas. They can watch telenovelas. We still have a little of the Kokonsa, but not much because there's no time.
Outside that, what are some of the challenges that you face, and then how did you, jump those hurdles?
Some of the challenges I face, people really wonder if you can work. People are like, "Oh, how do you get water? Oh, how do you get?" I'm like, "Oh, I have water. I use a foot pump, and there's a sink here, so everything is working here."
I wish I could see this.
Oh, it's a gallon, 2 gallons fixed in, one take drainage, and then one gives us water. So when I pump it to my food, the water comes. Yes. So when it gets finished, I have a refill in front of the car. I just touch it. Yeah.
The Legon graduate, who is now offering Chartered Accounting at Institute of Chartered Accounting Ghana, stressed she will give her all to her love, back up salon on wheels, and reduce pressure on her certificates.
So if I have a capital of, let's say, 50,000 Ghana cedis, do you think I can do something like this? Something cute, yeah? Let's start a business like this.
No, not at all. Unfortunately, it's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of courage to get into this because this can get me about 3 shows in this Legon. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well finished. But I chose this option. I chose this way.
She advised young ladies to take on challenging but profit-oriented business ventures.
They should be hardworking. They should chase their dreams, go after their dreams. They shouldn't listen to discouragements. If that is what they really want to do, they should go for it. And it will work.
Our winning woman for today is Yasmin Okujeto. I call her the sickle cell warrior, a woman who inspires me so much, and it's great to have you on. I'm so glad to have you. Now, I have to let you know, I don't know if I've told you before, but I did say you inspire me, and you really do, because I saw you at an event one time, and you came, you were looking ever so stylish. You looked like you were a bit uncomfortable. You had a crutch. And I just loved your confidence. I watched you throughout the whole event, and I just thought that this is a strong, powerful woman. I'm so glad you're here to share your story with us. So, like I said, you are the co-founder of the Sickle Strong Warriors Foundation.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. And so you're going to talk to us a lot today about, what it's like, to go through or to have, sickle cell. I'm wondering, at what age did you realize that you had it? Did you understand what it was?
Okay, thank you. I was diagnosed at 3 months old. I knew from a very young age that there was something wrong. I found out I had sickle cell when I was about 6 or 7. I didn't truly understand it till I was well into my teens. I didn't know what it was. All I know is that I was special.
Okay.
I call it I was special because I was in and out of hospital. I had to do certain things differently,
Like what? What kind of things?
So, like, for example, I think the first time I felt the effect of sickle was one time I went for PE and everyone was running, and then I ran, and the next minute I had chest pains, I couldn't breathe, so I had to be taken to the sick bay. My parents had to be called.
Wow, what age was this?
I think I was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
I was about 9, yeah.
Okay.
And, I felt really bad because I just wanted to be like everyone else. So I remember when I was about 13 or 14, I watched The Little Mermaid. And the mermaid sang a song and said, "Why me?" Because she wanted 2 feet. And that song really touched me because I felt, yeah, why me? So there were times when I used to go through my crisis when I was younger, and I'll sing that song and I'll proper cry my heart out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Oh my goodness. So growing up, were you like in normal regular schools and all that? What was growing up like? Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do. I have 2 siblings. I'm the only warrior, thankfully. It was frustrating, especially when everyone was going to secondary school. And I wanted to go. My friends are in Abri girls, Wesley girls. And I
wanted to a boarding school.
I couldn't go to a boarding school. I had to go to a day school. And for me, it was, I don't know, I felt upset, but then I was also very resilient in terms of whatever I was told not to do because of sickle, I did. So, for example, my mom was, okay, you guys are going swimming. Yasmin, don't swim because we don't want you to get sick. So they'll pack everyone's costume, and I'm supposed to supervise my siblings swimming. And I'll go, and they used to rent costumes there. So
That's terrible.
I'll get a costume, and I'll swim. And sometimes I will get sick after swimming.
Did you ever regret it?
No.
No.
No, sometimes when I'm in pain, yes, but...
So what is sickle cell? Educate us a bit on it.
Okay. So sickle cell is a genetic disorder where you inherit the gene from both parents.
Okay.
So, for example, my mom is AS, so she carries the sickle gene,
Okay.
1S. And then my dad is also AS, so he also carries the gene.
Okay.
So I picked up the 2 S's.
Okay.
So when 2 AS people get together, there's 25% chance of each pregnancy being sickle.
Right.
Yeah, so they could have AS, they could
Okay.
have SS, they could have AA.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, it's actually 50% because AS is 25, AA is 25, then there's the SS.
Wow, that's 50%.
Yeah.
Okay, so then talk about this. I mean, now it's very, very popular now that, even sometimes in churches, they ask that you bring your blood results, check and everything.
Yeah.
And some churches won't even marry you if you're both AS because of like the trauma, the difficulty, the pain that the child will go through and all that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships?
So I hear this a lot. I do a lot of talks around schools, universities, secondary schools, and I get asked this question, what about love? Love is amazing. Love is fantastic. But I always say, just imagine you're both in love. You're both working, you've married, you have your first child, second child is sickle, third child. Along the line, a lot of hospitalization may mean that one partner losing their job because they're constantly having to stay in hospital with the child. Then there's double income household now becomes a single income household. And sickle cell is expensive. It is extremely expensive. The love starts to go down because you start to argue, you start to get frustrated, you start to scream at each other. I know a couple that their marriage broke down because their child was sickle. Because mommy is always saying, okay, the child has to do this, the child has to do that, but daddy doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And the mommy stays up all night
So
with the
did they
child.
know before they got married?
No.
And would you advise that really, should we do this? I mean, should you meet somebody and say, let's go and check what our blood type is?
Yeah.
And what do you
For
think?
me, from day one, from the moment a guy shows interest and he asks me my name, I ask him, what's his genotype?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Like, what's your name? And you ask, what's your genotype?
Yeah. Well, hi, I'm Kofi. Yeah, hi. Hi, I'm Yasmin. How are you? Good. Do you know your genotype by any chance?
You're kidding me.
No,
Come
I'm not
on,
kidding.
save it to the second date.
Because look, I have lived, my heart has stopped twice. I have lived a lifetime of pain. I'm almost 39 and I've been in hospital over 300 times. Over. Sickle cell is not an easy life. If I show you my phone, I have warriors that are going through depression. Some in hospital, some can't afford hospital bills. I have them listed up. Some going through drug addiction. So it's not just the pain you're living with. You're living with the psychological issues of not being able to do certain things, of your career being put on hold because of your health. So it's a lot, honestly.
And are there counselors and coaches who are there for sickle cell warriors, as you call them?
So there is in Kolebu at the sickle cell clinic, there is a counselor there that counsels warriors, but I feel like it's not enough, and it's not enough because I get messages, calls sometimes at 2 a.m. because at that time you're going through that pain. Sometimes the only person that understands is another warrior.
Somebody who's been through it.
Yeah, is another person that has been through it. It's another person that at that particular moment may know the right things to say. So one of the reasons I decided to do a course in emotional intelligence.
Yes, because you're a certified specialist.
Yes,
in
and
emotional
cognitive behavior therapy is because I went through that breakdown. I was always known as the superwoman in my family, supergirl, and then I broke down. And in breaking down, I was upset with myself that how can I break down? And looking for the help I needed was hard, especially in this part of the world.
Right.
You had psychotherapists or psychiatric doctors screaming at you, making you feel worthless when you're going through a very difficult time.
Right.
So I decided, look, I'm going to be the voice. I am going to be the go-to person when people are going, especially warriors, are going through this, because it's like a roller coaster. 1 minute you're fine.
So are there any symptoms? Do you know if you're about to have an attack? Can I call it an attack?
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Sometimes you're not. That's the unpredictability of sickle cell. Sometimes you're aware. Sometimes.
But you were saying that, sometimes your mom will say, don't do this, because if you do it, this can happen, right? So, no. So there are a couple of things that you probably shouldn't be doing, right?
Yes.
And then is that known to every warrior out there that, be careful, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that?
It is. But almost every warrior I know is like, imagine, don't do this, it's constant.
There's so many things
things you shouldn't do. So you're like, you know what? Excuse my language. Screw it. I'm going to do it and face the consequences. But I've also grown up to a stage where I'm like, I prefer not to have crisis.
Right.
So
and is there a way to avoid that?
For me, it's better. I always tell warriors to understand the condition and then understand yourself. Now
every warrior is different.
It's different. You can have 2 warriors in a household. One will be constantly sick and one may not get sick.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the complexity of sickle cell because it's a genetic disorder. So it's very, very complex. So me, for example, I know that I need a lot of rest. If I rest, I'm okay. But if I do things back to back, like that event you mentioned, I can't discharge myself out of hospital to attend that event. And I remember as I was leaving home, my daughter was like, Mommy, I don't want to hear about any crisis when you come back. Don't go. Do you have to go? I was like, yeah, I have to go.
How old is she?
She's 4.
I've seen pictures and you're like twins. She's so cute.
My mini-me. So that day got home in the middle of the night, I had to be rushed in again.
But I've also heard a rumor, I don't know if it's right, and that's why you're here to educate us and correct us, but I've heard a rumor that it's difficult to have a baby when you're, a sickle cell, warrior.
Yeah.
You have a child.
Yeah.
Now, what was that like? And did your partner as well know?
Okay. So as I said, from day one, I asked about genotypes. My pregnancy was, I'll call it like the most amazing time of my life. I had no morning sickness. I had no sickle cell. I had so much energy. I was literally at work from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. sometimes. And then finally, when I hit 6 months, the crisis hit, and it was the worst crisis I had ever had. Wow. I mean, I almost died having my daughter. I had 10 pints of blood. It was bad. I mean, literally, they had to bring her out at 31 weeks, and it was a battle. I think it was the first time my mom actually thought she had lost me.
Now, were you aware of the danger or the threat? And then did you go in knowing that, I know this, but I still want to have it?
I'm aware that every warrior who gets pregnant is a high-risk pregnancy. Some warriors, I know warriors that have 4 children, 5 children. They battle certain things, but some are okay.
Okay.
I was told not to try.
You were told not to try?
Not to try, because I had other complications, my fallopian tubes, so many other things. And honestly, with my daughter, she was not planned. I found out 11 weeks, 3 days.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
I was 11 weeks, 3 days gone when I found out that I was pregnant. And I was super excited, because every time doctors have actually told me that, oh, you may not
But what
have
did your
a
partner,
child.
how did your partner feel? Did he know? And
we were
was
not
there
together,
any,
actually.
Okay, but
Yeah.
was there any fear? Did you ever fear that your child might get it?
No.
Okay. Also, if your partner is not, then there's no.
Yes.
Okay.
So I made it a point not to date people who were AS.
Okay.
It was AA.
So that's why it's from day one. So
Yes.
so you're not falling in
I'm
love,
not
basically.
falling in love
Okay.
because I've been hurt. When I was younger, it's happened where falling head over heels, and then somewhere down the line you're at the guy's AS.
Oh no.
So there's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So we really must check these things.
Yes.
They're so important. Now, I guess, I was saying wait till the second date, but it does make sense that in a way from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you don't just get too deep in, because once love sets in, it's
It's
like do or die,
difficult.
basically.
Yeah.
You tell yourself we love each other so much, but you haven't actually faced the reality of it.
No, I don't think a lot. I think we don't. As of now, I still feel enough noise is not being made about sickle cell. People don't understand.
Are people hiding it?
Some people are. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I started wearing my shirts. Because that people would tell me when they say, oh, reject sickle cell.
And your shirt says what? I'm a sickle strong
warrior.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I started wearing, and then I have others that says I'm the face of sickle cell. And I started wearing this because I have a lot of warriors who hide the fact that they are because of the stigmatization.
Right.
So they don't want people to know. Then you have religious leaders who will tell you, reject it. Don't accept it. By accepting it, you are...
Reject it in what way?
I don't know. Like, I'll say that, okay, I'm having a conversation with someone, so I'm a sickle strong warrior. Oh, reject it, you're not.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So like don't proclaim it.
Yes.
Okay.
But then the more you say these to people, the more some people, me for example, I'll tell you that I am great despite sickle cell.
You believe it.
I believe it.
Right.
I am great despite sickle cell. And maybe if I didn't have sickle cell, I won't be the type of person I am.
Right.
Sickle cell does not define me. It makes me great. And I say that because you see people, they'll be hiding, my pastor said I should not accept it, so I'm rejecting it. But then if you don't accept it, you don't get to learn everything about it.
So this is something that you actually have to you have to be very open-minded.
Yes.
When it comes to this, and know what it is and know how
what
to
it
address
is.
it.
Own it. And I say own it because if you don't, in this part of the world, you will die. People die from ignorance and negligence. But if you know everything about sickle, if you keep learning yourself, educating yourself, knowing, for example, when I'm in hospital, my drug chart, I study it. So the doctor has put me up A, B, C, D, how many hours interval. So when the nurse is coming to give me my injection, I know that, okay, it's time or it's not time. There was a time I was admitted in one hospital, which I don't want to mention the name.
Right.
But the nurse came in, it's time for your injection. I said, no, it's not. Then she said, and then I asked her, what medication is it? She mentioned the name. And I'm like, no, it's not mine. She said, are you sure? Yes, sweetheart, I am sure. It's not mine. And she asked me again, are you sure? I said, please, can you just go and check? You know, so she came back and said, oh, sorry, it's for the next door.
That
little mistake. I could have reacted, you know, so it's sometimes when you're in crisis, look, you can't see anything.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, sometimes.
But are you aware, or like, so you could also make a mistake,
yes,
though, that it could be your time and you're saying.
Yeah, you're saying that sometimes you can be delirious when it comes to the pain. The pain is so bad. You can't see anything. You don't want to hear anything. You know, it's so bad. But then that's why I have my family. I have people there. My mom will be there with me. There'll be someone in the hospital.
Now, when you're going through this sort of pain and crisis, how does your mom take it, and what does she say?
It breaks her heart. I always say that I won the genetic lottery by coming through my mother, because she never gives up, and she's there with me through the pain. And there was once I was admitted in hospital for 4 months. This woman never went home.
Wow, she was with you for 4 months.
There. Yes. She would pray, she would be there, and it breaks her heart.
Do you think she regrets it? Are there parents who say, I regret having you because of the pain I'm seeing you go through?
I think
and is that right to say to your child, though?
No, I don't think so. I think that some parents, my mom would always say that she's blessed to have me. But she hates the sickle cell part.
Right.
But some parents also take it out on their children. You know, and I've helped you, and you're stressing me, It's not, just remember, it's not the child. I have a warrior I'm mentoring at the moment. Both his parents have neglected him. You know, on Christmas Day, they said to him, oh, please, we don't want any crisis drama, you know.
The parents?
Yes. Yes, he literally cannot walk. He's had 2 hip replacements that have gone wrong, and he's just there bedridden, and they don't care. They're tired. They tell him
but that's when the counseling and all of that comes in. So do parents go out for counseling at all? Because we're talking now about the warriors being counseled. But what about the family, the partner, the loved one, the child?
They need it.
And does your daughter understand what you're going through?
My daughter understands to a certain level. For example, a couple of days ago, she's like, Mommy, are you going on live? I said, no.
This is live on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mommy, I want to go on with you. And I said, well, what do you want to talk about? She said, I want to talk about the circles and semicircles in people's blood. Then I asked her, which people are semicircles? She goes, well, sickle strong warriors are semicircles like you, and circles
so
are people. So
her.
So I'm teaching her, but I was amazed that she actually even remembered.
Because she loves you so much. So I'm sure, yes.
She's everything. Oh. She's everything.
Now, going through this, has it affected your career path?
It has. It has. I am a hospitality consultant, so that's what I studied in school. That's what everything I always wanted to do was with hotels, restaurants.
But we are here at the Movenpick. We have to give a toast to that. Yes, 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 yes. Never say never. This is a lovely smoothie from the 1-to-1 bar here. Apparently, it's the apple pie. So you were saying?
Yeah, so I had to change a bit because it was draining me. So I had a contract.
And like you said, you have to rest a lot.
Yes, yes. So I was working for, I was consulting for a company that needed me to provide 1,444 meals every day.
What?
Breakfast, tea break, lunch, dinner.
Wow.
And then managing the hotel side. So it was draining.
Now, when you go and put an application in, is it wise or is it good to let them know that this is what my condition is?
Yes.
Do you think you'll be treated differently even when it comes to salary, when it comes to responsibilities? Does it affect, your growth in a company as well? Do you think so?
It does. Because the average sickle cell person will take, like, in a year, about 15, 20, sometimes 30 or 40 days off if they have a crisis and they recover. And then,
That's like what, over a month? Even?
Yes, over a month. And not all employers can understand that, so I think it totally affects a lot of people. I know warriors that have lost their job because of the constant hospitalization. They may be the best, but then the constant hospitalization affects the business.
It does, yeah.
So you need to also look at it from the business owner's point of view. But there's been some few bosses that are really, really, really amazing. That I know a boss that has put a bed in the office for one of the staff who is a warrior. So I think a few people are actually, but it totally affects your career. It affects everything, your love life, career path, everything.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm just so, this has been so eye-opening, you know, because you just hear it, oh, they have sickle cell, but I personally didn't know it was this deep.
Yeah.
You know, I follow you on Instagram. Sometimes I see your post where you say that the pain is excruciating. And when I read it, I almost feel that sort of, you know, I'm quite empathetic anyway, but I almost feel like, oh my goodness, you know, so I think you're doing an amazing job. So actually be the face of it, because like you said, for fear of stigmatization and everything, some people are running away from it and not, you know, proud to stand out, to step out and say, I'm going through this, and because you're making an impact. And that is what success is to me. Now tell me your definition of a powerful woman. I see you as a powerful woman. What is your definition of a powerful woman?
A powerful woman, to me, is someone who gets up and go no matter what. And they go without it being written on their face. Like I could come to an event and be in excruciating pain and you won't know. So facing your challenges head on without wearing your problems visibly.
Please, you have to say that again. You have to say that again.
Facing your challenges head on without wearing your problems visibly.
I love that.
Don't let it
ladies,
be
you've heard this. Go out there. I mean, everybody goes through one thing or the other. At one point in your life, there'll be one thing that might hit you, you know, might disappoint you. But this is what you're supposed to do. Face it, but don't wear your problem
visibly.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been amazing having you on. I'm so inspired really to go out there and to give my best, to do my best, to be an impact, to make a change in the life of somebody else, and that's what you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on the Today's Women Show. It's been a pleasure, a blessing having you. Have a blessed Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back. It's time for the Trendy Women. This is when we talk about fashion, beauty, lifestyle. Today we are talking about health, female health. It's really important that you stay tuned. There's so much to learn. You're very welcome, Catherine. Thank you so much for coming on the Today's Women Show.
Thank you for having
me. We're here at the Movenpick Hotel in the Presidential Suite. Lovely ambience. And I'm so glad you're on. Now you're going to educate us today on condition endometriosis. Tell us all about it.
Okay, thank you for having me. Endometriosis is a menstrual disorder. You know, when we're supposed to have our menses each month, what happens is the lining in the endometrium and the walls of the uterus have to shed each month. But for somebody with endometriosis, somehow these tissues that are shedding go back in the body and they are trapped.
Wow, are those the clots? Are those what form the clots?
No, they are like clots-like, but they are not the clots. Clots are different.
Okay.
These are endometriosis tissues.
Okay.
And they get stuck in the body.
Okay.
So these tissues, when they get stuck, can go to your brain, and they bleed. They behave like they're in your uterus each month. So you're bleeding there. You're bleeding in your brain.
Are you kidding?
You can go in your lungs. So then you're getting blood in your lungs.
And this is happening to many women out there?
Yes, they always say rare, but since I started doing this campaign, I've met people with the endometriosis in their chest, in their navel. So the rare could be your sister, it could be your friend. So the rare for me is not important. It is something that everybody should know about.
Yes.
So, but they keep saying it's a rare condition.
We should talk about this properly, because some people may be going through it but are not aware that this is what they're going through. Because I mean, I remember being in boarding school a lot of the time. Some people during their menstrual cycle, menstrual period, can't even walk. You know, because the pain is so severe. Some people will be kneeling on the floor, holding their tummies. So what are the symptoms that would let you know that this is stronger?
Okay, so for me, it started at the age of 14. excruciating pain. It gets me paralyzed. I can't walk. Nausea is another symptom. Irregular periods, like 2 weeks in a row, then it goes off, then it comes back, then heavy bleeding. All these are signs.
Okay.
But the main thing is severe pelvic pain. We always go to the hospital and they tell you, oh, it's normal. When you give birth, you'll be fine. And that's what's happened to a lot of ladies. And people with endometriosis are misdiagnosed. And before they get the diagnosis, it's like between 7 to 10 years or more.
Wow.
And that is when that is where then there's a need for the education.
Is there a particular test that we can go out there and take?
Not a particular test, but any gynecologist can do a scan. The traces of a cyst tells that there might be endometriosis. But to be able to test for endometriosis, you have to go to a medical surgery, minor surgery. It's called laparoscopy. They put a camera through your belly button, and then that's where they be able to tell you what stage of the endometriosis you are.
So with laparoscopies, now that you mentioned, I know that sometimes, you know, when you struggle a bit with infertility, you can have a laparoscopy to clear your tubes and all of that. When that is being done, is it also tested at the same time?
Yes.
Or do you have to request for that test?
No, the laparoscopy is mainly for, if they see the cyst, they'll go further and do the laparoscopy to identify what stage of the endometriosis you have. That will identify what treatment you would need.
Okay, so what's some of the treatments?
The treatment is they will do when they do the laparoscopy, they can laser it's got the endometriosis tissues, they can laser it off. But they have other pills that you take or surgery. Surgery, excision, depending on how severe your stage is. It depends on the stage. So you can have just it being lasered, and you can have it being taken out. Like not just being lasered, but cut off. So
what is being taken
from the
out?
body? Those tissues. The endometriosis tissues will be cut out of it.
And once it's cut off,
that's not it.
Wow.
But there will be a continuous treatment. You'll be on medication that would help slow down.
So is it curable?
No.
So it's a condition that, you know, some ladies have.
And most 1 in 10 women suffer it silently. It's alarming. Since I started this campaign, the people that have contacted me, I've taken them to the doctors I'm doing this campaign with. And the numbers are alarming.
So what should we know out there? What should the ladies know? What should they look out for? Who should they go to?
Okay, for me, if you go to your doctor and you think there's something wrong with you, and the doctor is saying, oh, it's normal, they give you painkillers and they leave you, you need to see a gynecologist. Go to as many doctors as possible. It is your own body, you're your own advocate, so you need to go to doctors until you have a diagnosis. For me then, probably how many years ago, there wasn't much about endometriosis, so yeah, if I go, they tell me, oh, it's dysmenorrhea, which is painful menses. Even if you're told you have dysmenorrhea,
it's good to get a second opinion.
It gets a second or third or fourth opinion, because at the end of the day, it's your body. You know your body more than anybody else. So once you know there's something wrong with you, please try other doctors until you get results. And I'm pleading with the doctors. For me, my experience was when I mentioned menstrual pain, I don't get eye contact with doctors. When I was doing my thing, I get them writing.
Male doctors or female?
Both.
Or it doesn't matter?
Both.
Okay.
I would just get them writing painkillers for me. And if you go again, it's like you're worrying them with your condition. It's just menses. Why are you making a fuss?
So are they aware of it though, the doctors?
Some are aware now. Since I started the campaign, I've met a lot of doctors who actually know. I've been on a lot of platforms.
And what is this campaign you're talking about?
I'm educating about endometriosis. I'm an advocate now.
Okay, so are you going to the schools and all that?
Yeah, I've gone to a few, but I do mainly TV, radio, social media for now. But this year is when I'm going to intensify with the schools, JHS, SHS, tertiary, because it's alarming. This is Accra and everywhere. I went to a women conference last year, and nobody there had heard of endometriosis.
Yes.
So for me, it's alarming. This is Accra. So imagine going to the regions. It has to be. They have to be. I mean, I have to be heard. I have a voice now. A lot of people out there need to be reached. They need to hear about endometriosis and the effects. I call it the silent killer because if it can affect vital organs, then we need to be very aware of it.
It affects fertility as well.
Fertility, yes. That is the worst it can do. But for me, if it's going in your brain, for example, somebody is getting a fit each month because it's bleeding as well as bleeding down there. So
at the same time,
you see, it's behaving like the time you have your menses. It's behaving
wherever it
gets.
goes.
That's what happens. I recently was in touch with a lady from Kenya, and she had her gum, part of it cut off. She lost 4 teeth because of the tissue. It had affected the tissues in her gum.
So it just goes anywhere?
Anywhere. It goes in your tear duct, and then you're crying blood. It goes in your nose. You have
your nose bleeding.
Bleeds, yeah.
So is it genetic, or is it something
so
that...
with this one, they're not sure. But they think that if you have a family member that has bad menses, it's likely that you have. Everything around this is not certain. Like they
so then
think,
when was this found, if I should say?
Okay, recent. I think it's in the 18-something is when endometriosis...
So it's quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago.
Okay.
But my point is, there's too many times that pain with women is brushed aside.
Yes.
Because I believe that if it was a man going through the pain, probably there will be a cure by now. So I think
I don't know about that.
No, but when it comes to women, we brush aside pain with women.
But I think one thing
That's
with women, and that's why it's good that you're on the show today, and that's why even on some of the shows that I'm going to have coming up, we're going to talk a lot about female hygiene, female health, all of that, because a lot of women are even shy to say it's the time of the month and I have backache.
I agree.
Or it's almost like growing up, we're even told when you have your menses, keep quiet.
Yes.
Don't tell anybody.
I was told,
that sort of thing.
I was told I'm talking about a taboo topic.
Do you
when
understand?
I started.
So the taboos are killing us, in quotes.
They are.
And that's why I'm so glad you're on today to educate us. And that's why I want you to say again, please speak to the ladies out there and let them know what they should be looking out for. It's really important.
Yeah, so for me, I believe if you're having severe pelvic pain and severe excruciating
pelvic, where is the pelvic? Somebody doesn't even know.
Excruciating pelvic
so like
pain.
your abdomen,
yes. Okay.
Let them know exactly what it is, because some of them don't know the technical terms.
Okay, so your abdominal pain, I should say, severe, that sometimes you can't even move and do normal activity. I am sure in the schools there's a teacher out there that thinks there's a student that is being lazy, but unfortunately that child is going through something. They should be aware there's something like this so they can help the child by telling their parents, because some will be out of classes because of this pain. It gets you paralyzed, you get back pain, you get nausea.
And this can even affect relationships.
Oh, a whole lot, because imagine your guy has come to see you at that time of the month and you are crawling. I crawl all over, do everything crawling. And imagine, they'll tell you they'll be there for you, but no, who wants to be around?
And it comes every month.
Every month, yes. And the sad thing is, for me, when in my 20s, I think it was like 1920, I was having pain before, during, and after. So within a month.
It's only 4 weeks in a month.
Yes, so it looked like I was antisocial. Like some of my friends would think like, she's being some way, and I didn't even understand what was happening to me.
But at that time, could you not say?
Yeah. Could
you not say what was happening to you?
I did tell them, but I didn't know it was endometriosis.
So you just say you were in pain.
And my friends were like, we go through it, why are you making a fuss?
Like you're making a big deal of it.
Exactly. So that's why I kept getting, so I just thought, okay, let me just deal with it silently, be by myself.
But now you have the voice.
Oh, yeah.
No more silence.
So nobody is going to.
Yes, because it's about time that we educate the women out there. Let them know.
Yeah.
It's not about paracetamol. It's not about just taking trisilicate.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I remember one time in school, going through menstrual cramps, even you'll be given trisilicate, which is not even to do with that.
At all, nothing at all to do with it.
So it's really, really important that we seek professional help. It's really, really important.
Essential,
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Renee,
Ladies, you've heard it all. No more taboos. Don't call it a taboo if it's affecting your life. You know, it's really, really important. Don't be shy to seek for correct treatment, to seek for solutions. It's about time we start speaking about things that affect us, because that's the only way we can bring about change for the today's woman who you are. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back. Wow, ladies, what can I say? Today has been, like I said in the beginning, so educational. These are things that each one of us has to know what is happening and how to actually deal with it, to make that change out there, to make your life even better, to be a support to the next woman next to you. Thank you so much for joining. Don't miss it next week, Saturday, same time, 11 a.m. on TV3 and on DSTV 279. And thank you so much to the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel for the lovely ambience, for the great hospitality. I just love it here in the presidential suite. And thank you to the 121 bar for the lovely smoothies you served us. Have a lovely Saturday, everybody. See you next week.